selection of herbs, and I'm going to be making chimichurri today. So I've got 100 grams of fresh coriander, and I'm simply going to take the bunch, give it a twist, and do that. We're going to keep the stalks. And the same with the parsley. I've got half that amount, so it's about 50 grams. Smells so fresh and delicious. And my fresh oregano, I think I've put about a tablespoon in the recipe, but you do need the oregano for this, and I'm actually going to pick it mostly from the stems, just because they're quite hard. You do need the fresh oregano for this recipe, so don't substitute it for dried if you can avoid it. I think sometimes it can feel that these salsas and relishes take so much preparation, and you're there chopping and picking, and actually this one really, most of it goes into the food processor as is, and you'll see it's really not going to take long at all. So I've got my coriander, I've got my parsley, and I've got my fresh oregano, and I've got finally 50 grams of mint here, and I am just going to pick the leaves from the stalks, just because these ones are quite woody. But it really doesn't take very long at all. I've got my beautiful bowl of herbs, and they're just going to go into the food processor. No knife skills needed here, just a trusty food processor. I'm going to pulse this for about 30 seconds, just until I can't see any large pieces of herbs or stalks. I'm going to do about 6 tablespoons of olive oil here, but I'm just going to free pour it. It's good to get the olive oil on the herbs quite quickly, so that they keep their lovely green colour. I'll just give it another pulse. I'm going to put a pinch of salt in here at this point, and just let the food processor help distribute it around. A good generous pinch, and that's just going to dissolve nicely. Before I next try it, a quick pulse. We're done. It's really very simple. We use this sauce as a relish really with our food. It has a sort of capacity to transform rather ordinary or well-known things like mushrooms on toast, which is what we're doing in this recipe, and make them that little bit more exotic and special without very much effort at all. It sits incredibly happily in the fridge for 4 to 5 days, as long as it's under a layer of olive oil or some cling film that you've pressed up against it. It doesn't last very long in our house, but it's a really nice thing to have in the fridge. So I've pulsed my herbs, I've got my olive oil in there, and a good pinch of salt. And now I'm just going to do half a lime. Brings a lovely sweetness to this. I've got my lime juice in here, and now I'm going to put a teaspoon of smoked sweet Hungarian paprika. We cook with this a lot, and it's very easy to get online. So 1 teaspoon there. Don't put this in the food processor, because it has a habit of turning your whole mixture brown. So add it in at this point. And I've minced here 1 medium banana shallot. Take the time to mince it finely, because you don't want big chunks of onion in this. Finally, some pepper. You can handle quite a bit of pepper. A good pinch. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil here, just to loosen it up, because it's a bit thick. You want to be able to spoon it over things, not eat it with a knife and fork. So that's loosened it up nicely. It's just about spoonable. Finally, my red wine vinegar. I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons here, but you really need to taste it, and you want that balance of vinegar and the herbs and the olive oil. So I'm going to have a little taste. should be quite sort of strong and zingy. That's delicious. I'm just going to put this to one side while I quickly fry up some mushrooms on toast, and I'll show you how it looks. I've got a gorgeous selection of exotic mushrooms here, and it's a real treat. But it does really work with just chestnut or portobello mushrooms, so don't fuss too much. If you can get hold of these gorgeous mushrooms, then that's great. But it's the chimichurri in this dish that really makes it pop. Beautiful oyster mushrooms here. Some shimejis. So I've got my mushrooms, and I'm going to just quickly fry them with some garlic. First, this is the really indulgent bit, I'm going to fry a piece of bread. We have a less than fresh loaf of bread here. Go for one nice thick slice. Obviously, if you're watching this thinking I'm not going to fry bread, you don't have to. But it really is delicious. So I'm going to heat my pan and put a little oil. Put it on a medium heat. And I'm just going to put my bread in. Sprinkle of salt. Perfect Sunday morning brunch after a heavy night. Couple of minutes on both sides. Want it to be sort of golden brown. I've put the oven on just so that I can put my bread in the oven while I fry my mushrooms, and then it can all be hot at the same time when I come to eat it. So just a bit of timing there. Fry your bread, leave it in the oven to warm, and quickly saute your mushrooms and sit down and eat your mushrooms on toast. The bread is lovely and fried. I'm just going to pop that in the oven. Got it on at 180, but it actually could be 150. And I don't need to clean the pan, it's ready to go. So I'm going to pour a little bit of olive oil for my mushrooms. And I'll probably cook these in 2 batches, just so I don't crowd the pan. Want to get some nice colour on these mushrooms, so quite a high heat, and don't overcrowd your pan. I'm going to add my garlic, just divide it between this lot of mushrooms and the next. Just let that fry a bit. Can't fry mushrooms without garlic. So my mushrooms are cooked. I'm going to get my toast. Finally, my chimichurri, which I'm going to dollop generously on top. Lovely vinegar in that relish will cut through the fried mushrooms and bread. And a pinch of pepper. And voila, your chimichurri with mushrooms on toast. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you again next week for another episode of What on Earth to Eat Now.